It's been the subject of much speculation for weeks, with shadow ministers batting away any suggestion that Labour might row back on its promise to spend £28 billion a year on green plans. But now, within the last few moments, Labour has confirmed a U-turn. It is indeed scaling back on its flagship green pledge. Instead, the new commitment will only see a fraction of the money spent, just under £5 billion a year, if the party is elected to number 10.
What won't now happen is that we won't make further or new investment decisions, and that means that we won't reach the £28 billion envisaged, and that figure is effectively stood down. The reason for that is because since we announced the £28 billion, the Tories have done terrible damage to our economy, not just the Liz Truss budget, but also now the government briefing that it's going to max out on the government credit card. Reckless, but I have to anticipate the circumstances as they are now, not as I'd wish them to be.
Let's bring in our Deputy Political Editor, Sam Coates. Good evening, Sam. So £28 billion a year to £5 billion a year. Why this? Why now?
That's right, Mark. So Labour have junked the biggest dividing line between them and the Conservatives just a few moments ago. 2 years ago, Rachel Reeves, the Shadow Chancellor, promised that a Labour government in future will borrow to spend £28 billion every year on green investment projects. And that promise has been watered down 3 times, and today it's effectively put in the bin. The Labour Party today is saying that they will borrow just £2 billion a year, £2.6 billion a year, rather than the £28 billion promised just 2 years ago. The borrowing pledge has been the subject of merciless Tory taunting. The Labour Party say that the cost of borrowing has gone up, and that's why they've had to rethink their plans. But they also, in the same breath, and this is where it gets a little hard to get your head around, they also in the same breath said that even though the amount of borrowing has dropped from £28 billion to £2.6 billion a year, they are going to do all of the different projects underlying that promise that they were going to do anyway. Let me explain what's going on. So the truth is, Mark, that Labour had not worked out how to spend anything like £28 billion. They'd probably worked out how to spend in the region of somewhere around 10 to 12 billion. They've scaled back one of the different elements of the Green Investment Plan. That's the plan to insulate homes, which was going to cost £6 billion a year. That'll now cost just over £6 billion for the whole Parliament, so dramatically reducing that. But all the other spending, according to Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer, will go ahead. They're going to borrow £2.6 billion, but they're also going to impose a windfall tax, a bigger windfall tax for longer, to fund another couple of £1 billion for this plan. The moment really, though, matters because of the political symbolism. As you say, for months there's been speculation over this policy. Just 48 hours ago, Keir Starmer was defending the headline figure of £28 billion, but now it is no more.